I went to a Healthy Living Expo on the weekend, and it was really interesting to chat to people there, and so many people have that same problem. They go to those kind of events with all the intentions of changing, and then they go back to their normal life and nothing happens. You know that feeling, don't you? You make that decision, you're going to start on Monday, you're going to make changes, you're going to take massive action, and then Monday comes and either nothing happens or everything happens, and then by Wednesday or Thursday it goes. And so often people say to me, what is that? What happens? And the truth is that you have a pattern or program in the unconscious mind that has that go-to strategy for what to do instead. So let's have a chat about that for a moment, because 10% of your mind is that reasoning, analysing, judging, thinking, that chitter. And the other 90% is your unconscious mind. So that unconscious mind is all of your filters, all of your programs, all of your patterns. It stores every memory you've ever had. It has emotions trapped in there. It controls and regulates the body. So all of that breathing, blinking, swallowing, chewing, the healing of the skin, all of that happens on that unconscious level. So when 10% of your mind is going, I want to change, and the other 90% is still running the old programs, which one do you think is going to win? Yeah. So, and it's a challenge, right? So with traditional sorts of coaching, you're working with that conscious mind. You set the goal, you set the intention, and you make steps to get there, and off you go. You might have that coach hold you accountable, whether that's your personal trainer, your nutritional coach, any of those sort of traditional forms of almost consultative, this is what we should do, that prescriptiveness tends to be that conscious thinking. And that's great, and sometimes that works really well if we have enough want power. If we have enough desire and enough value set to that, sometimes it's just easy to get there. But most of the time it's not. And that's where NLP and hypnosis come in. So both NLP and hypnosis work with that unconscious part of your mind. So just like when you learnt to drive a car, it was, if you drive a manual, it was clutch, accelerator, brake, shifting gears, and it was all a bit overwhelming. Or when you learnt to tie your shoelaces and you might have had to do the rabbit. And then it gets to that point where you just know how to do it. It just becomes a pattern or program that you run. And everything in life is exactly the same. Brushing your teeth, those old self-sabotaging behaviours that you do. It's not about ruining the body. It's not about trying to make you anxious. It's not about making you feel like crap with depressiveness. It's really not about that at all. Every behaviour has a positive intention. And so from those states that you're feeling, from those old self-sabotaging behaviours that you're doing, the body's getting something out of it. Your mind is getting something out of it. And it's a pattern or program that's run. Most patterns start from 0 to 7. So when we're consciously trying to pick apart why we do what we do, so often we miss it because we don't even know why we do what we do. It started way back when we saw something on TV or copied our parents or something like that. And so why wouldn't you choose to work on it unconsciously? It's a bit like weeding the garden. If you just kind of pull out the tops of the weeds, all those weeds sprout back. And that's what happens when you consciously work on stuff. It's just like kind of pulling the tops off the weeds. And yet when you can go in and work at that unconscious level, you can rip up the roots, get to that root cause and weed the garden. And so many people think that personal development work is weed the garden and it's done. But as you know, with a garden, sometimes weeds pop up still. Sometimes there's old beliefs that linger and pop up at the most opportune times, or sometimes there's a different weed that comes up that you might not have pulled out before because the climate was just right for that weed. And so working at the unconscious level is quick, it's rapid, but it doesn't mean that you do one session of personal development, go to one Tony Robbins event, that you go to one coaching session and voila, you're fixed for the rest of your life. Even I have a coach to continue to work on myself. I see my coach maybe once a year. So it's not often. But when I feel like something's coming up for me and I need some help to work through it, I put up my hand and I reach out. Because I know that my unconscious mind is a wonderfully secretive place that stores everything. And if I'm trying to consciously go through and find stuff, sometimes there's little doorways and passages that are blocked that I can't access. But a coach will help me to shine the spotlight, to go through those tunnels, to open the door and to let out whatever's trapped there, so that I can be a better version of me. So coaching helps with so many things: anxiety, depression, quit smoking, weight loss. It depends on what your goal is. And so many people just want to feel more like themselves. So many of my clients feel broken. They feel like there is something wrong with them. None of us are broken. We all have all of the resources that we need within us. Sometimes they're just buried and locked under doors. Sometimes all we need is a coach to help us dig and find them, to help us feel stronger, better, happier, more successful. And I'm curious, if you were to work with a coach, what doorways would you want for them to help you open? What resources might you need to help you get to your goals? It might be confidence, security, comfort. It might be just feeling good. It might be getting rid of that self-doubt, getting rid of that negative chatter all the time. It might be getting rid of that anxiousness for you, rather than giving you the tools to just deal with it, helping you get rid of it. I don't know. Share with us below. If you had a coach, what would you work on?